There we go. Tag team back again. All right, bet. We on. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Uh can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Peace and blessings. Peace and
Loud and
blessings.
clear. Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, I do hear a little feedback, but if y'all don't hear it, that's cool. I can work around it.
Yeah, your screen is frozen, though, but we can hear it. But your screen is frozen on my end.
We good now, right?
Yeah, it's good.
All right, bet. We good then. So man, peace and blessings. What's going on with y'all?
Just getting off work, watching these basketball games.
Yeah. You're a Suns
Yeah,
fan still, right?
Tell them with the
for
youngins.
now.
For
For
now.
now, yeah.
That's real. Well, man, we already been kind of chopping it up a little bit here. I was talking to Crondo this morning, and we mentioned like, you know, we should have a conversation around like different parenting styles. So I did have four that I had researched, but if you can identify your own, maybe that's not recorded. We can dive deep into that as well. So I don't expect anyone to identify under these four that I researched here, which are authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and uninvolved. So, like authoritarian, you believe kids should be seen and not heard. When it comes to rules, you believe it's my way or the highway, and you don't take your child's feelings into consideration. In consideration. Authoritative, you put a lot of effort into creating and maintaining a positive relationship with your child. You explain the reasons behind your rules, and you set limits, enforce rules, and give consequences, but take your child's feelings into consideration. So I guess that would be the difference of those two is really taking the child's feelings into consideration about how you parent. Permissive parenting, you set the rules but barely enforce them. You don't give out consequences very often. You think your child will learn best with little interference from you. And uninvolved, I mean, that's kind of simple, but we have here, you don't ask your child about school or homework, for example. You rarely you rarely know where your child is or who your child is with, and you don't spend much time with your child at all. So those are the four that we can kind of build around a little bit. And it won't necessarily be with just us, but it also could be with other parents that we have seen. We can give those examples, the difference between ours and our spouses, stuff like that. But I think it's a worthy conversation to have for fathers for sure. You on mute.
The one I identify with the most is authoritative. Wait,
Yeah,
that's the second one, right?
yeah, authoritative.
Yeah.
Or
So
was
like,
authoritarian the second one?
What's that?
Was authoritarian the second one? Which one was the
No,
my way or the highway? Authoritative?
the first one.
the first one, authoritarian.
Okay.
So I would say I would probably be more authoritative. Like when I am like enforcing the rules, I let them know why it is a rule. You know what I mean? Like, why do I have to take a shower every day? Because you don't want to be like the motherfucker that stinks. Like you don't want to be, you know what I mean? Like or other rules, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to keep a dirty house or you know, you want to stand up for yourself, depending on what the situation is. Try to always give a reason why, as
Yeah,
opposed to, you know, just because that's what it is. Like shit.
yeah, I'll say I'll kind of second that. I'll say I'm a mixture between authoritative, I believe that whichever one wasn't the my way or the highway, like you ain't got no say, so get the hell out of my face. Whichever one wasn't that. So authoritative, mixed with the other, the pessa, what was it? Pessimistic,
Permissive,
pessimistic.
permissive. Yeah,
Yeah, mixed with that, because I'll have rules and guidelines, and I'll have the conversations with them as far as like the whys and all of that. But I'll be honest, like I don't always enforce it as much as I should, for consistency. You know what I mean? So that's why I'll say like I'm a
why do
mixture
you
of both.
think that is though?
I think simply because I'm just fucking up. You know what I mean? In that area, it's just not being consistent. Ain't really no excuse,
So
and it could
you
be
don't
like
think you got like a soft spot for him just because of your son or something like that?
yeah, I'm not that authoritative like that to where I'm like, okay, this is what we gonna do. You ain't gonna have it. Okay, if I take the game away from him, and let's say I'm like, okay, no game for a week, no game for a week. At day 2, day 3, I give in because it's like, well, damn, he getting on my damn nerves. You know how these kids is like, they ain't got nothing else to do, so they gonna bother you. So I give in. And also like I also want him to have fun. So it's not really easy for me to like just take all the fun away from him and be able to
Right,
just sit there and watch him be miserable. You know what I mean?
right.
So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not as consistent as I want to be, as I think I should be, because I think I should be more consistent, especially when we think about like the co-parenting aspect of it, right? Like I co-parent, right? So my son's with me half the time, he's with his mom half the time. And when he's with her, it's a different type of energy over there. You know what I mean? She'll take everything away for a decade and not blink. You know what I mean? Whereas at
Right.
my house, he has more freedom, and so you know what I mean? So I think if it was more consistent across both households, I think that'll help when it comes to like his behavior overall. You feel me? So that's where I take accountability at, is knowing that I do feel that I should be more consistent in those areas and not be too lax. Like, okay, all right, I know I said I was gonna take the game away from you for a week, but all right, I'm gonna just give in. I should be more consistent in that area.
That's real. Appreciate it.
Or if I may, Javis, brother Kadir, I was gonna say, or even with that, sometimes we don't gotta be so extreme. I'm taking it for a week. How about your ass ain't gonna hold on to that? Say, I'm gonna take it for 2 days. That way you reinforcing yourself to be consistent. Like don't put 7 days when you only got 2 days of
Mm,
testicular fortitude to look at you crazy or get on your nerves. So just be mindful of the punishment.
yeah. And I will say that right now he is on a 7-day punishment, and I'm on day 3 now, so I'm on it strong, baby. No
Right.
Nintendo Switch. I'm on it strong. I
Hold it down.
ain't
Hold
getting
it
back
down.
until Thursday, but I'm on it. I'm on it. But I tell you, he put me through the ringer yesterday. He just but I held it down though. So yeah, I'm doing good.
Congratulations. You got four days to go.
I'm almost there, baby. I'm almost there. We good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anybody else? I know, brother Kadir. I know you joined in with the ad lib there, but what would you say parenting style you fall under out of the 4 that we named, or maybe there's something different. Maybe it's introduce us to a different one.
Oh man, I'm all of them except for that last one.
Except for the uninvolved.
Yeah, yeah, this except for the last one, but it just depends. Like, just think about this every day. Like, each child requires something different. Like with Power, man, I gotta be on his ass. Like he a slick little cat, man. And I'm just watching Josh. He rise up. That boy, he gonna give me a run for my money. I ain't gonna front because he's very stern at 4 years old with what he wants, and he don't care how big. Like he that cat that'll fire on you. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't give a fuck who you is. I can just see it in him, man. So like I'm just, man, I'm praying to God give me all the teachings and what I need for him. But and then like with Junior, man, Junior is very he's very pure. You know, he's very pure. He still got that innocence where he like want to tell the truth, and he's sensitive. You know, he's comfortable like as a young man to want to quote unquote, you know, cuddle with his pops. You know what I'm saying? Let's go get cuddle with his mom and watch a movie. He don't care about laying on my chest or laying up under me. Where Power be like, man, you don't get the hell away from me with that shit. Like he don't have that. So I would say like the authoritative would need to be just very, very open to touch on all of them where it applies at, you know, for each child. You know, now with Zari, man, she's kind of like a mix between Junior and Ja. Like she don't care, you know, she'll speak her mind. She's very motherly, nurturing. And when it comes to correcting her, she's very it's like you gotta word it a certain way because of her understanding or her way of comprehending. So a lot of times I have to like be very, very cautious with what I'm expressing to her when it's about, hey, this is not gonna be accepted, or you know, that this is our standard here in my house because we live in two different households now. So it's just a mixture of all of it, to be honest. Again, except for the last one.
So you believe that children should be seen and not heard?
It depends on what time it is. It go back to those saying it's a time, place for everything. You know, we in a certain environment. Yeah, you need to be seen and not heard. It ain't time for you to be loud and playing and running around. It's time for you to sit your ass down and listen, or you know, or go play or whatever it is you're supposed to be doing.
Mm.
You know, if it's in the sense of like my way or highway, if I say, man, you know, on Friday night, you know, we reading together at 7:00. Devices off, no devices at 7:00. You know, we reading collectively together. And this is how this is gonna be. Hold on one second, I'm still at work. Hold on.
I agree as far as seen, not heard, depending on the situation. If it's a bunch of adults having an adult conversation,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
how we
Like,
grew up.
that's how we grew up. You know what I mean? Or you know, me and my mom and dad having a conversation. You know, I wasn't able to put my input on. I would have, you know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? It doesn't even concern me. You know, or if they having a card game or a card night, or you know, a little kickback or something. I'm not going to be in the mix while they in there, you know, maybe smoking, having a drink or something. I'm not. I don't need to be around that. Um, so it just depends. A lot of you know parents nowadays they have their kids around them 24/7, even while they doing that.
Do you believe because I said so is an answer?
Uh, when I was younger, yeah. Now, not so much. There should always be an explanation as to why I'm saying that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But depending on the tone and asking why,
Right.
back in the day, that could get your lips slapped off.
like
You know
like
what I'm
Donald
saying?
Duck gotta go walk way over there and grab your lips.
And knock your beak off.
Yeah,
You
I'll be
know,
enjoying that why, because I'm getting that more and more from my son who's 7, about to be 8 next month. And he asks why for any and everything. You know, even if it's something where he knows the answer, I'll say something, so he'll say, this is what you can do, can't do, don't do that, yada yada. And he'll just be like, why? And I love it because, you know, it shows me that he wants to learn, you know what I mean? And it gives me an
Right.
opportunity to really educate him on no matter what it is. So and every time he asks that question, I always think about like what you just said, like you know, because a lot of times back in the day, it's because I said so. So when he asks those questions, I think about those moments when an adult would say that to me. You know what I mean? And like I said, I love those moments when he asks that why question because it's, you know, he's getting a different response that I may have gotten when I was that age.
Yeah, because I would say when we grew up, even though we grew up like that, sometimes we still left those situations kind of like, well, why can't I know? Or you know what I mean? Like it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't always like it was more asking out of healthy curiosity as well sometimes. So I take that into consideration when I catch myself explaining a little bit more than I plan to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, also though, I just realized something as well. I know everybody's probably doing their own thing, but if possible, when you do chime in, if you could turn your camera on, that way we could get visibility on the live as well, because it only show with the camera going. If not, no big deal. We'll keep it rolling though. Who's next? Again, we just talking about different parenting styles, kind of like where you think you fall under. We did go over 4, which were uninvolved, permissive, authoritative, and authoritarian.
I would
I
like
don't
to say,
understand how
oh, go ahead.
my bad. I don't understand how uninvolved is a parenting style. That's not parenting at all. I mean,
But
I don't,
Hey, man, give them
okay.
their credit, Crondo. Give them their
So
credit,
look,
man.
you're not involved. I mean,
Hey, a bench player in
or,
the NBA, he's still in the NBA. He's still an NBA player. He just don't
or,
play.
or, or is that the parent that just basically I don't care what y'all do, just leave me alone?
Mm.
well, it says here that uninvolved parents can also be parents that lack knowledge about child development, or they may believe that their child will do better just without their oversight. So, as sometimes they're simply just overwhelmed with other things like work, paying bills, and managing a household. So, it's not necessarily always intentional.
Mm.
It just falls under the the fatherhood umbrella, because it's gonna come, it comes out in different ways at different times. So I think I'm understanding a little bit more. Like Brother Kadir said, it's really like all of them. You feel me? But just kind of like knowing when to use them and staying far away from which ones you don't feel are work best for your particular situation. But understanding all 4 of them, I would say, not necessarily using them, but understanding them.
What's the difference between authoritative and authoritarian?
Great question. So, authoritative is like, it reads here, do any of these statements sound like you? You put a lot of effort into creating and maintaining a positive relationship with your child. So you explain reasons behind your rules. You set limits, enforce those rules, and give consequences, but you also take your child's feelings into consideration. Authoritarian is kind of like, it's my way or the highway. I don't care about how you feel. You don't take your child's feelings into consideration, but they do have some similarities as well. That would be the big difference.
I would say both because it's never only just one thing. So, but those definitely both of those fell under when I had my children under my roof.
Bet.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say for Crown really interrupted me, and I was playing. It was one thing I noticed, and one thing I noticed in parenting styles is that some people hate the way they were raised, so they strive to do everything opposite of what happened to them, regardless if it was good for them and how much it molded them. They say, man, I don't want to be like how my mom was or how my dad was, and they miss a lot of things in that, and finding what, and they wonder why. I see from just watching and observing it sometimes, like where disrespect comes in at within a parent-child relationship. It's like you strive so much not to relive what happened to you that you're missing some parts of it that's really essential to the respect boundaries and certain things like that. And because you watch some children, man, the way they talk to their parents and the way they function, you could just tell, like, the parent is not involved with they're not consistent, they're not. A child know if you're gonna hold on to the end of your bargain or not. If you say this is what it is, they know how long you're gonna, they know if you're gonna be serious or not, you know what I mean, or if you're gonna really hold on to what you say. So I like just people who just totally focus on not being whatever was done to them. I think they miss a lot in raising their own children, and kind of do themselves a disservice in the long run because they're so focused on being better than their parents, nicer than their parents, for whatever reasons. They may have a successful career, be the most respectful adult or parent, but it was something in their upbringing that made them that way, that they kind of missed out on it because they're only looking at the negative side of things. Like, well, I didn't want to be a hovering parent, a helicopter parent, or, you know, my mom or my dad was this way, so I don't want to be like that. And again, somewhere in there, it was something that allowed them to develop themselves to have certain boundaries and certain respect for their parent. Them same ones that may not like how they were raised, they still show some respect to their parents and our guardians who are raising them most of the time. But then their child does not have that same, not nowhere near equal respect for them.
Definitely feel that. Delon, I know you usually got a lot going on these Tuesdays. I see you was at basketball practice or something, but did you want to chime in?
Yeah. Can you so I heard what is my parenting style? Was that the
Yeah,
question?
or yeah, what do you feel you would fall under most? Because it sounds like everybody has a little bit of at least these three, the first two for sure. But yeah, just give a little insight on those four. Did you want me to go over them again?
Yeah, if you real quick.
Yes, sir. No problem. Of course, there was uninvolved parenting. There's permissive parenting. There's authoritative parenting and authoritarian parenting.
Uninvolved, permissive, authoritative, and authoritarian.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not authoritarian for sure. Authoritative, I can definitely be authoritative. Only because I'm raising a young boy,
Right.
and discipline is important, structure is important, having standard in which we govern has to be the standard, because especially a young black boy, the world is going to try to impose all these rules on them and expect you to know it. So if I can just be prevalent, making sure that I give him the structure and the framework to watch how to navigate this world, he'll be better off for it. And a lot of times it comes off as authoritarian or authoritative, not authoritarian, authoritative. As far as permissive, I heard Brother Javion talking about, I'm gonna put you on punishment for a week, and then after 33, it's over with. And I can kind of relate to that, primarily because it's just he and I in the house. So it ain't like there's some siblings. It ain't like I could go take him to his mama house for a week or anything like that. So if anytime it's a punishment, for him, it's also kind of a punishment on me too, because I
Right.
gotta kind of deal with it, and I gotta kind of suffer through it too. And
Hallelujah.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So sometimes I do get a little lax with some of the punishments, but I think what I've kind of backed off of a lot of that punishment, and I've kind of hit him with the, all right, cool, I'm not gonna take nothing away. I'm just gonna add more stuff onto you. So it's gonna be more workouts. It's gonna be more hard labor work. You're gonna be in this backyard digging holes and then filling the hole up, and then digging another hole just to fill it up. Like, you're gonna be cutting grass. You're gonna be doing dishes. You're gonna be doing work to give you less time to do the things like bother me or play on this game, things of that nature. So I think the permissive is definitely prevalent a little bit. The hands-off approach, what was it called?
Uninvolved.
Uninvolved. Yeah, I don't think that applies, only because even when I'm not like obtrusive in his life, I'm still somewhat involved, because it's just I understand that it's important for me to give him the knowledge that he's going to need for this next chapter. So even when I'm like not involved, like I don't get too involved in his phone and the things that he does on his phone per se. I don't, I don't screen watch. We don't calculate screen time. I'm not, watching what he's doing on these apps. I kind of got past that, just because now I just got to make sure that I give him the knowledge to how to utilize these things so that he can be a good steward of it. Because
Mm.
if you watch over your kids and you are always hovering, you build a sense of insecurity and a sense of distrust, because it's like, damn, you don't trust me. But if you give them the trust and you give them the knowledge, then what happens is that when you leave my household and now you have all of this freedom and you have all of this ability to do these things, you don't need somebody to micromanage you to make sure that you stay on track. You already are armed with the knowledge to be able to make the right decisions when these situations arise. And if you don't make the right decision, it's cool. So long as it don't cost you your life, you'll learn something. The knowledge that I gave you before will be like, okay, this is what my dad was talking about. It makes sense. Like, I'm already, now that he'll be 14 in a couple of weeks. So we're now starting to kind of run into these situations where it'll be something that I told him previously and he didn't listen and he did it anyway. And now you kind of see the ramifications. And so it's like, okay, that makes sense. So my son is starting to repeat the same mistakes less and less. He's starting to get to that point to where it's like one and done. He's gonna fuck up, but he's not gonna have to bump his head multiple times because he's starting to kind of take heed to the things that I'll tell him. So I just try to, even when I'm hands off, I'm still there. So I don't think that being absentee, or what did you say it was called again?
Uninvolved.
Uninvolved. There you go. Yeah. I don't think uninvolved is. I don't think that's the best way to classify part of my parenting style. So.
Right. I do like the hands-off approach you mentioned at the beginning, but also, how many other brothers on the call knew that word was authoritative?
I
had a feeling that's what you was trying to say.
Yeah.
Authoritative, right? That's what it was.
Yeah. Because I went back and looked at it. I'm like, oh, that's exactly what it says.
So that, I was wondering why you didn't correct him, because I thought he just said the wrong word.
Thought it was a new word.
And public school education, Bilal.
You said what?
Look that one up.
That's that public school education, Bilal.
The what?
That public school education of yours,
man. Right. It really is, though. All right, who we got next?
Wait, so I'm confused. So what is the word again?
The word is authoritative, right? Yeah, authoritative.
And you were saying authoritative,
and I was saying authoritative. So there is authoritarian, but there's also authoritative. And I was saying authoritative. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You got it now. You still don't look like you.
I'm gonna just move past it.
All right.
Just say the big
like tomato sound the same to me.
I think with who we got next?
See, brother Ali hopped on.
Yes, sir.
Hey, peace, brothers. Let me get my thing going here. What's going on, brother?
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings as always. Yeah, camera dirty. Hold on. There we go. That's a little better. As always, good to be on. I was in and out. We talking about our specific individual parenting style.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard a lot of what Brother Delon said, which resonated, of kind of flexing between the permissive and authoritative. Mine are still pretty young. My girls are 6 and 9. And so for me, it's about providing that structure, providing those parameters for them to operate within. And like I said, they're still young. In a couple of years, I'll probably be full authoritarian, especially when they start talking about boards and stuff like that. I'll probably have to lay the iron fist down. But, right now they do a pretty good job of staying in the parameters that we set. And so I enjoy, being able to tell them yes, being able to give them things, especially because when I was coming up, it was like my parents just looked for reasons to say no to stuff. And so, I like the ability to be able to give them things and, let them try things and experience things. Even I heard the earlier discussion around, because I said so. So what my general rule is, if I tell you something, I'll give you one why, right? because I do want us to be able to dialogue. I do want to educate them and come from a place of understanding of why you're doing things. But sometimes we don't got time for that, right? If I say, "Hey, get out the house because the house is on fire," it can't be
Right.
why, right? So if I tell you twice, we can discuss it later. And I'll happily break down anything you want to know. But, sometimes it has to be a because I said so type of response. And, so for me, it's usually kind of flexing between those two. But I think what it sounds like is we all kind of go between, different styles as the situation deems, necessary. But for me, it's probably between those two for the most part.
That's real.
That's what's up.
I got to run it back one time, Bilal, if I can.
Yes, sir.
I think I can fall in that last one too, because sometimes
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
I'll sit back and watch my child bust their head. Like I watch them sometimes. I'll be uninvolved with their learning curve, so to speak. I guess is the way to put it. And it could be like it don't have to be based on like where I'm at, where as far as like energy wise or frustration wise, anything like that. It's just like, sometimes like I watch my children do something, or they be doing something, you just know the outcome is gonna be bad, but you don't say nothing. You just let them, figure it out. So I think that kind of could fall into that last one. What was it called? Uninvolved. It's like, again, like I said, it's just putting things in a moment because you gotta, the wax on, wax off. Sometimes it look like you ain't doing nothing, but when it's all said and done, you know how to block and defend yourself and punch somebody at the right time. So it's just, again, it's just not I'm only authoritative or this or that. It's what tool do I need for this lesson right here, right now? You know what I mean? So I can fall. I'll take all of those. So I just want to run that back. So I'll take all 4 of those titles, man.
I appreciate your transparency. Now that it's explained like that, I've been that particular style as well. Like, I'm getting y'all something to eat, I'm getting y'all something to drink, and then I don't give a fuck what y'all do for the next few hours. Like, I don't care. Go get the phones. I don't give a shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
because remember it said like
temporarily uninvolved.
That usually occurs when like parents are overwhelmed in different things. So like and sometimes it does get like that. That's and my particular the way I was able to identify it is through like my co-parenting, especially with having a daughter. So there's been times when I was just like, when she was going through certain things that I was so much for me that I'll be like, man, that's between her and her mama. Let her mama handle that. And that's similar to that as well, because it's like, I really don't know what to do. So I'm going to back up and kind of like let it play out and use the other parent. So I've done that before.
How do you deal with the different styles when you're on different scenarios? Like right now, I want to be the first one, and then my partner wants to be the last one on this particular thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you navigate around that shit?
Of course, I think it matters if y'all in the same household.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would definitely play a different. Like I don't know. I think between the couples in the household with parenting, it should balance each other out. So it's in a way it should somewhat be on top, and like, first and last, those 4 that we mentioned. But I mean, I don't know. Every dynamic is a little different though. Me personally, I somewhat oversee the final say so when it comes to parenting, and I hope that we can be on the same page. And if we're not, then I'll try to get her to understand and explain that somehow to get her to understand. But if not, then I usually just take the lead on those situations. That's why I'm most comfortable.
Yeah.
What do y'all mean by first and last?
The first one the
Yeah, the
authoritarian
first
and
one.
uninvolved.
Oh,
So
okay.
No,
yeah.
no. I mean, no, I didn't mean the last one. I meant
Oh,
the
permissive.
permissive.
Even
You know what I'm
even
saying? I'm
then,
like, no, that's enough snacks. That's enough snacks. And then, you know what I'm saying? She letting them get snacks when I ain't looking or something, or let them eat the candy after I said don't eat the candy or whatever the situation is. You know what I mean? Like, it's still the whichever the first one is. You lost me there.
authoritarian, my way or the
Yeah,
highway.
yeah, and then the permissive one. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
in the same roof.
It
And I think
it
that
bothers me
shit
in
kind of
those situations. I'm not gonna lie, it
the
bothers me
kid.
in those situations. It challenges the relationship. That's an opportunity for those two to grow in that relationship. But when that happens with me, it does bother me because it's like, man, we not on the same page here. You feel me? Like, why did you? So it's just I think it's an opportunity for the couple to grow. But like I said, when it's all said and done, I'm still gonna take the lead if we can't see eye to eye on that. Brother Thurston.
Peace and blessings, everybody.
Peace and blessings.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, I had to jump off. I had another meeting. For some reason, I got 2 meetings scheduled at the same time, during this time, so I had to jump off. I do apologize about that.
Also good. Appreciate you coming back on. And
Yeah.
just to kind of give you a quick update, we were talking about 4 different parenting styles. Authoritarian is the first, and that kind of just, in short, that means it's my way or the highway. When it comes to rules, you believe it's my way or the highway. You don't take your child's feelings into consideration, and you believe children should be seen and not heard.
I'm authoritative.
Authoritarian parents are famous for the saying, because I said so. Authoritative parents, excuse me, you put a lot of effort into creating and maintaining a positive relationship with your child, and you explain your reasons behind your rules. You set limits, enforce rules, and give consequences, but you take your child's feelings into consideration. Permissive, you set the rules, but you rarely enforce them. You don't give out consequences often, and you think your child will learn best with little interference from you. They're quite forgiving, and they adopt the attitude of kids will be kids. So, for example, and then there's the uninvolved parenting style as well, which Delon mentioned. It could also be understood as the hands-off approach. So yeah, I'll let you jump on it right there. Dive in.
Yeah, I'm authoritative.
Yes, sir. Why would you say that? And is that the only one that you are?
I would say that because when I did my AAPI, I tested in that one.
What is an AAPI?
So one thing I just got trained on in December, which we probably need to do again, is the Adult Adolescent Parenting Inventory. So what that does, because everyone says, "Oh yeah, I don't do that. No, I don't do that to my kid," right? But then when you test, and we'll see where you actually line at with the AAPI. And so one thing I did score kind of low on is authoritarian. Well, I guess not authoritarian, is the fact that I still have authoritative over my kid because of the fact I'm not willing to actually let go. So I kind of hold them back and don't get the autonomy just to automatically be free. But then I understand where that comes from, because I see that I didn't fully go through the process and where I feel they should be at the certain age, right? There's certain chores that I believe that kids should be able to do, and tasks that should be able to do by a certain age. And putting my son in certain scenarios, it was a eye opener to me, letting me know what I need to bring him up to speed on. So I scored kind of low on that. Let me see. I can actually show you.
What about permissive? Are you ever permissive?
No.
so you always enforce your rules. There's no gray area at all when what you say.
No, because like I said, I have a cheat. I cheated because I took a parenting class. So before that, I could have been that. But now I took a parenting class and I'm actually inside the work. I went and I have do's, don'ts, and consequences for a lot of things, right?
Right.
Where we talk about that. And now the biggest thing is now getting my partner, my wife on the same page. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the biggest thing.
Definitely is that.
And so instead of me like saying it's my way or the highway, I try to see, hey, is this what outcome are we looking to get from the situation? You know, this is something I'm looking to do. Like, what are you seeing that maybe I'm not seeing that you think that this is going to help give them life skills? With parents, they parent for the house. With moms, that paternal, as that parenting is, they're looking at it from the house side, right? That's why when certain kids they're learning to speak, they be like, say say pee, say nunu, right? But then again, why don't we just teach them the word to use? Because now we're teaching them twice, right? So after I get you to say now you're saying and I gotta teach you to say food, right? So with my parenting style, I'd rather parenting used for the world. That's how men look at things. We're parenting to get our kids prepared for the world, where maybe the mom, maybe just getting you prepared for just inside the house. But as men, we understand that I'm not always gonna be here. I got to get you your mindset to focus and understand how it is for the world, right? And so that's why I look at how I do things for my child. Is like I understand we break down different scenarios. I ask them questions. I don't say I raise my kids. I empower them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not always going to be there to raise you. So I need you to be able to think by yourself.
Jules, man, we appreciate that. Thank you. And
yeah, no problem.
Man, share the link or some more information about that AAPI. That sounds like something everybody should do in their spare time.
Yes, everyone.
Because you said after you did that, it made you a better parent. You feel right?
No, after I took the nurturing father's course that a lot of us took, right? I took it, but the thing is, where I feel bad for everyone that took it because I did something we should have done a pre and a post, right? Because how do we know it's even working? How do we know that it actually implementing these things? We don't know. We can just say, oh yeah, I took the course, but how do we know that it actually works and people are implementing it and it's actually in their brain? So with the AAPI, when we do the pre and post, you can't trick it. You can't trick it, right? It's going to ask you to so many questions, so many different ways, and it's going to show up and give you a diaphragm of where you at. Are you on the low end? Are you on the medium end? Or are you on the high end? And so when I recently took it, a lot of my scores was pretty much low. You know what I'm saying? I had a low score. And so I recently took it again because I just got trained to now do the assessment. And now I scored on the other end. But I scored a little bit on the low end as far as on the construct, as far as not letting go. So with some of the questions on it, I actually go through a couple here with you. So it says, children need to be allowed freedom to explore their world in safety. Time out an effective way of discipline. Strong-willed children must be taught to mind their parents.
A year ago, when
sooner children learn to feed and dress themselves and use the toilet, the better off they will be as adults. So, do you agree?
Yeah,
you
I
agree?
like that.
Do you disagree? Or are you uncertain? So depending on what answers you get, it will tell you where you actually fall in line at.
Man, we appreciate that information.
Yeah, one second.
I'm already looking it up.
Yeah, and you just got trained on it. So once I finally get access to pretty much everything, I was going to ask y'all if I want to take it again, and it shows you where you score at.
I'm down.
Hold up, let me see. Can I share it with you real quick?
Let me see. Yeah, you should be able to. Let me see. Hold on.
NBA
I
using
disabled the screen sharing.
yes, exactly going on. Obviously, players under
Okay,
review.
you see if you could share it now.
Yeah, we're all good. So boom. So this is my score. You see for parenting construct B, I scored lower on that one, right? But if you can take a look and see why. Fear spoiling children. Children's no more developmental needs not understood or valued. Children must act right and be good, lack nurturing skills, right? So I scored medium is actually where everyone is at. That's medium. That's basically average, right? And so I'm scoring a little low on that because I'm not fully ready to let my children go. I still hold it back, right? But if you see in the constructs, I scored pretty much in the low risk level, right? Almost all touch 2. And then on the right side, you can see what it actually means, right? Understands and values children's needs. Children are allowed to display normal developmental behavior, nurture children, encourage positive growth, communication with the child, recognize feelings with the children. So I'm pretty much where I need to be, actually above that. So when you talk about parenting and we say, how do I know? Is because I took this test right here, the AAPI.
Yeah.
And so once I get access again, I'll stop sharing. Once we get access again, we're waiting for the logins to come in. I can send it out to everyone for everyone to take and to see where you fall in at. And then from there, it shows you what constructs you might need to work at. We can actually pinpoint the specific areas in your parenting that you might need help in. And we have automatically some programs. We have different things, different constructs, different scenarios, some different information to provide to the parents so they can work on that specific one.
Man, like I said, I'm down. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that.
So there's a total of 3 that I got trained on. There's the nurturing skills, competency scale. There's the AAPI and the parenting attitude towards raising teens inventory too as well. I will be implementing later on this year. So what I like about that one is it talks about things that you take a test and your team takes a test, and then we bring the answers together and we have a conversation of why you chose that answer. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that it brought up here, if a teen says he or she is gay, he just needs to meet the right male or female. Do you strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree, or uncertain? So depending on your answer and depending on what your teen answers, that will be a conversation that needs to be had, right? Because sometimes we don't know fully what's going on in our children's life. So it helps us with these 20 questions to open up and have that dialogue that you maybe didn't have yet, maybe possibly,
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why I say I'm a authoritative parent. And I know that because I took the test and it shows me that I fall into those constructs.
Yeah, I'm happy that you were kind of like already aware of these 4 characteristics of parenting as well.
Yes, sir.
That also validates this whole conversation. So, man, I think we're good to wrap it up as well, unless somebody got anything else they want to say.
Yeah, I will say this last piece. Like I don't want to say like I'm a know-it-all or nothing like that. Like it was a journey. It was a struggle, right? I didn't grow up without a dad. I grew up in a single mom household. My mom married and had a stepdad, but he wasn't really there because he was in the military. So it took me a long time to get to this point to speak comfortably about parenting and parenting styles. And I strongly encourage everyone to take these tests. Like I said, you can reach out to Blabdot. You can get in contact with me. And once everything gets situated and gets going, I'll be more than happy to give you the test. The test is completely free. It's no charge at all. It's completely free. We can definitely get you that information and see where you're at, and also seeing what your overall goal is as far as you being a parent to your child, and then see how we get you some more resources. But please holler at Brother Blau and OBFC for more information about these tests and about different programs. And I'm Thurston Smith.
Peace. Hey, yo,
That's
got
solid.
That
You
sound
said
like
what?
infomercial.
I say something real quick.
Yes, sir.
I got a brother in the bookstore who been listening to us. And he was real inspired, and he just wanted to say some things. Come on, bro, introduce yourself, man.
I'm Nayere in English, Nayere, Black Power, peace to all the
Black
king.
Power.
Peace,
Yeah.
brother. Peace.
And I just want to say, Asante, man, thank you for shedding that light, man. It's like hearing everybody's opinions and where they stand at. It just gives me a collective, because I don't have children yet, on how to raise mine. So now I got like a whole bunch of different weapons to use. You know what I mean? As a collective. And I think it's powerful just you guys coming together, man. That's humble. I don't never see nothing like this in my life, where brothers come together and give their opinions and what they got going on, and then breaking it down and educating each other as well, and putting their personal experiences out, like, you know what I mean, for everybody to hear, so we can sharpen each other. So at the end of the day, iron sharpens iron, man. So, and I wanted to thank you, brothers, and hopefully you guys keep this going. I heard it's like every Saturday or Tuesday or something like that. Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, yes, sir.
Every Tuesday. So, man, thank you, Asante, to the Pan-Africans, the water to the Israelite brothers, and thank you to the black men. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Power.
Yes, sir.
Salute.
Salute. Wait, hold on. You got the wellness preacher was on here? The wellness preacher. I didn't see his name pop up here. Oh, Lord. We got a special guest, man. I'm about to do 20 push-ups as soon as I get off here right now. I'm about to do 20 push-ups. The wellness preacher's on here. I'm about to do 20 push-ups.
Yes, sir. Now go ahead and do it right now. We're gonna watch you.
Right.